Hello and welcome. My name is Nick Love with Love Racing, and let's go ahead and get to our first flying lap for Season 4, Week 2 with the Formula V at Oulton Park International Circuit. Make sure to stay around for the second half of the video where we're going to go turn by turn and break down a lap. Alright, now heading down to turn 1, we're going to stay fully track left here, keep our eyes left on the banners, that's going to be our turn-in reference. We're going to coast in, not brake for this corner, and we're going to use all the track on the left. As long as you don't get that second tire over, you're fine for one times. Turn 2 isn't really a corner, just be careful on the bumper on the right. We're going to stay fully track left here. We're just going to lift, turn in a little early, use all of the bumper on the inside, and you got to be really careful on exit here. Any more than one tire off there, and it's a one times. It's a really tricky corner. As we're going down the straight, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are getting value from these videos. Please go ahead and comment and let me know, what lap times you're running, when you're going to race. As we exit turn 4, we're going to be fully track left. We're going to look for a little dip in the track. That's going to be our braking reference. We're going to go down to third. There's a lot of camber in turn 5. It's really easy to overslow here and also to get back on throttle too early, and that's going to push you right off the track. This tire hairpin is one of the toughest corners on the track. Really, what I like to do is focus on it and consider it just like one right-handed corner. You need to understand where the bumpers are rough and what's going to throw the car, and then position the car just outside of that. Also, make sure when you're practicing, you put a couple tires off here and there in the dirt, just see where you're going to get one times and where you're not. We're going to start braking right at the 50-meter marker. We're going to go down to third, take a little bit of later apex into the first chicane. That way we carry a little bit more speed through the second straight. Trying to get all the way back over left. We're going to have a little bit of a confidence lift and then get back on throttle. You can track out quite a bit there. There's some grass with some concrete, so it's fine. We're going to stay track left and stay in third going up the hill. Then we'll go into fourth. We don't want to track all the way right here. You're just adding distance. Turn 15, we want to get all the way to the left side of the track. We're just going to have a little bit of a confidence lift, not all the way off. That way we don't upset the car. And then get back on throttle. That way we don't push wide. If you stay on throttle there, the car's going to understeer and it's just going to push you wide. You're going to scrub a lot of speed off. As we head down to the final corner, we're going to start braking right in this dip down into third. And we're going to turn a little early, use the curbing on the right, and get right back on throttle at the end of that curbing. We have some curbing on the left that we can use, and then we're just going to stay fully track left here all the way through the finish line. Alright, that was one flying lap in the Formula V. Now let's go ahead and break down turn by turn and look at some of the details. As we head down to turn 1, we're going to keep our eyes left here, use all of the track, and we're going to look for the Two Brothers banner, which is going to be the last one. We're going to lift off at the end of that banner and start to turn in. On corner entry, I'm actually going to modulate the throttle just a little bit. That's because maybe I lifted just a little bit earlier than I'm used to. I wanted to carry a little bit more speed here in mid-corner. Okay, we want to make sure we're back to full throttle by the end of the curbing on the inside. The exit of this corner is actually really forgiving, so you can actually go all the way up until you get your right tire all the way on the white line. As we head down the hill, just be careful on the curbing on the right side of the track, as it's pretty bumpy and can upset the car. We're going to stay in fourth and not brake for turn 3. We're going to use the dip in the track as kind of our lift and turn-in reference point. The compression here is actually going to add force to the front side of the tires, and it's going to give us a little bit better turn-in. After our abrupt lift and turn-in, I'm going to actually get back on the throttle just a little bit. That's going to help kind of settle the car before I get back to full throttle. On the exit of the corner, it's really stringent here. You're going to have to leave at least a little bit of tire on the white line, or else you're going to get a one times. We're going to go ahead and fast forward down the straightaway into turn 4. Just one thing to note here, you want to be careful at the end of the curbing on the left. There's actually quite a bit of a bump. You just got to be careful with that. Our braking reference for the hairpin, we're going to look for a dip in the track. It's kind of hard to see here on the video, but you can feel it once you're on the track. We're going to go ahead and go from fourth down to third, and it's really easy to overslow for this corner. There's actually a lot of camber here, so you can carry a lot more speed than you expect. Right now, as we head to the turn 7 chicane, what I like to do is stay in third here and get all the way track right. If you shift into fourth, it's just an extra thing you have to do, and you really want to focus on your braking and your turn-in references here. What helped me most in my approach for the chicane is think about it like only a right-handed corner. We want to position the car as far track left as we can. That way when we make that right-handed corner, we've opened up that radius as much as we can. We're going to lift as we turn in, and then I like to add just a little bit of braking pressure as I'm going over this first bumper. We're going to want to make sure we keep 4 tires on the bumper. Any further to the left here, it's just going to bounce the car and you're going to spin. Now it's really important here to look at where the car is pointing. We want to point here. That way when we turn in, can increase our minimum speed at the next chicane. We want to get back to full throttle right as we get to the second chicane. Just a quick tip here, we can reduce a little bit of distance on the track if we put the left tire in the grass heading towards this curbing. It's just going to cut just a little bit of track. Heading down to turn 10, we're going to want to start braking right about 10 meters before the 50-meter marker. That's because we want to slow down enough to take a nice late apex on this first tire barrier. We're going to go into third gear here, and the later apex is actually going to allow us to stay further track right here and prepare for the left-hander. In a typical corner here, we're going to get on throttle at the apex, and we're just going to track all the way out to the right. But here, we want to get back all the way over to the left-hand side of the track quickly. That way we can prepare for the right-handed corner, which is going to have a nice long straight at the end of it. There's not going to be a great turn-in reference here. Well, I'm just going to just lift a little bit, make sure I hit that bumper on the right, and then just get back on throttle. As we go up the hill, we're going to stay in third, and we're going to stay about mid-track to the left side of the track. That way we're just not at any distance. At the top of the hill, we're going to go up into fourth, and we're going to stay fully track left here. We're going to stay in fourth here, lift to about 70% throttle, and start to turn in a little bit before where the track changes from gray to black. We're going to start to ease back on the throttle once we feel the car grip up and make sure we can hit this second apex. Make sure as you're unwinding the steering wheel, you don't actually go into the grass there, as it's a really simple mistake to make. As we head down to the final corner on the track, there's actually a pretty good dip right here. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but when you're driving the car, you'll feel it. What you're going to do is we're going to start braking there. We're going to go down into third. We're actually going to have some elevation gain here in quarter entry. So we're going to have a long period of time where we're coasting. This is really important as the car positioning here for this corner is really important. We're going to want to start to ramp back on the throttle as we get to the curbing and be back to full throttle at the end. It's really easy here as the track starts to fall away to unwind too early and put tires in the grass there. So just be cognizant of that and then stay fully track left here all the way up into the start finish line. There'll be a link in the description for my Ghost file. There'll be an OLAP and a VLAP file. If you have any questions on how to use those files, there should be a link at the top right. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on track.